Good morning. How have you been? I hope you've been safe, keeping safe and sanitizing. We've been safe too. Welcome back to the online classes. I really missed you guys. I hope you did too. As usual, we're going to have our English lesson, and of course, it starts from now. The last time we learned English, that's about, is it 4 years ago? No, I think it's a month ago. The last time we had English, we talked about articles. And if my memory serves me right, we said that articles are, we have article a, article an, and article the. So I'm not going to dwell so much on that because I believe that you understood very well. So I want us to look at a topic that I think is good for you guys, the topic of adjectives. We said that English, we have the parts of speech, and adjectives happens to be one of it. So very briefly, what are the parts of speech? We have nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, we have the verbs, we have the interjections, we have the prepositions, and we have the interjection, that is, or the exclamation. That again, we have the nouns, we have the pronouns, we have the adjectives, we have the verbs, the adverbs, the pronoun, the preposition, the conjunction, and the exclamation or the interjection. As we said, the adjectives is among them, and I want us to briefly understand what adjectives are. So adjectives are words that talk about or describe a noun even further. We said a noun is the name of a person, is a naming word, e.g. boy, girl, book, and what have you. So an adjective explains more about that noun. E.g. when you talk about a book, no, let's use another example. Talk about a boy. A boy is a noun, that is a common noun. So if you want to explain more about that boy, what will you say? Maybe a tall boy, a dark boy, a short boy. So the word short, dark, and tall, those are adjectives. And we also said that an adjective is only used before a noun. You cannot use an adjective after a noun. You say a boy tall. No, the adjective has to come before the noun. So adjectives are also categorized. In some case you want to explain how that adjective is in the middle of a sentence, and in this case you have to compare or contrast. So you have the adjective itself, then you have the adjective in its comparative form, and then the adjective in its superlative form. In this case, the word big, in the comparative form is bigger, then superlative form is biggest, of course. And then you have busy, the comparative form is busier, and then the superlative form is busiest. I know we've learned this word since we're in class 3. Big, bigger, biggest, cheap, cheaper, cheapest, all those words. Fine, finer, finest. Then we have some of the adjectives that form by adding, instead of, e.g. like the word active, you can't say activia, activiest. So what do? You add you add the word more. So the word active in its comparative form is more active, and then superlative is most active. And then we have the word beautiful. We don't say beautifuler, beautifuliest. No, we say beautiful, more beautiful, and then most beautiful. The word careful, we say careful, more careful, then most careful. The word ignorant, we say ignorant, more ignorant, and then most ignorant. The word like handsome, we say handsome, more handsome, and most handsome. You can find those words, all of them, I won't read all of them, in English 8 book 6. We have all those words there, you can check them out. Also in English 8 book 7, all those books are there. And then the same, the other words that change, when talking about in the comparative degree, they change completely to a different word. E.g. the word bad, we don't say bad, but the baddest. And by the way, today's generations, you'll hear songs talking about baddest, goodest. That is not English. Please don't use that word in English. That is corrupted English. You'll hear saying bad, who is better than them? That is not English. So please don't use those words. They are not good for you. So the word bad changes to worse and then worst. The word good changes to better and then best. We don't say good, gooder, goodest. We say good, better, best. The word ill, we don't say illa, illest. No, we say ill, worse, worst. The word like old. In this case, old, we have older, oldest, and then elder, eldest. When do we use older and when do we use elder? How or when do we use older and when do we use elder? Older is used when talking about people who you're not related to. For example, in the class you may say Virginia is the oldest girl in the class. But in the family setup, you want to talk about you in your family. You'll say Virginia is the eldest. Ama is elder than her sister or elder than her brother. So when talking about people who are related to you, use the word elder. Then people who are not related to you whatsoever, use the word older. So in this case, the E and the O make the difference. Again, the E and the O make the difference. Alright. Then we have the word well, better, best. We have words like the ones we said that change to we use more. We have the word active, more active, most active, generous, more generous, most generous, ignorant, more ignorant, and then most ignorant. And then that is the correct, that we call all that the degree of adjectives. So in this case, we write the sentences by using the correct degree of adjectives given in the brackets. I will read the sentence and then the answer as well. And then I'll give you an exercise about the same. E.g., Abdul is fat. The word is fat. Boy in the class. The answer will be Abdul is the fattest boy in the class. In this case, who is Abdul? Abdul is the fattest boy in the class. Then number 2, the exercise is difficult than the previous one. The exercise is difficult than the previous one. When do we use the comparative degree? Comparative degree, as the word dictates, is used when comparing maybe two items, two people, or two things. So the exercise is difficult than the previous one. So the answer will be the exercise is more difficult than the previous one, because when you're comparing, you'll definitely have the word then in between. So the exercise is more difficult than the previous one. Number 3, only, the word is pretty. Only pretty lady will be selected for the prize. Only pretty lady will be selected for the prize. So in this case, what's the answer? We say only the prettiest ladies will be selected for the prize. I don't know how they value pretty. I don't understand. But just understand that you're pretty and you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Pretty could be so many things. So do not get the perception that you need to change your looks for you to look pretty. You are pretty just the way you are. So only the pretty ladies, only the prettiest ladies will be selected for the prize. Then these mangoes are sweet than those. These mangoes are sweet than those. So we say these mangoes are sweeter than those ones. We have the word than. So definitely that's a comparative degree. So those mangoes are sweeter than those ones. Then what is, the word is late. What is the late news? We say, what is the latest news? What is the latest news? Then the giraffe is tall animal. The word is tall. The giraffe is tall animal. We say the giraffe is the tallest animal. Yes, indeed, the giraffe is very beautiful. So the giraffe is the tallest animal. And then this is, the word is good, shirt in the shop. So we say, this is the best shirt in the shop. This is the best shirt in the shop. And then today is hot. The word is hot, day of the week. So we say, today is the hottest day of the week. Then, is it true that girls, the word is intelligent than boys? Is it true that girls are intelligent than boys? So what will the answer be? Is it true that girls are more intelligent than boys. Is it true? That girls are more intelligent than boys. I think they are. I think they are more intelligent than boys. I think they are definitely more intelligent than boys. So today, his condition is bad than that of yesterday. So today, his condition is bad than that of yesterday. So the word is bad. So we say, today, his condition is worse than that of yesterday. Today, his condition is worse than that of yesterday. Then July was cold. The word is cold, month of the year. So we say July was the coldest month of the year. Is it true? Why does it feel that August was even colder this year than July? So July was the coldest month of the year. And then the next one is, are you happy now? The word is happy now. Are you happy now? So we ask him, are you happy now? Maybe from maybe the things you've been going through. And then someone is asking, oh, are you happy now? Then ask him to move a little. The word is far. Ask him to move a little. The word is far. So ask him to move little further. Ask him to move little further. Then she is beautiful than her sister. She is beautiful than her sister. So we say she is more beautiful than her sister. Yes, she is more beautiful than her sister. I don't know why younger sisters are the last ones are the prettiest. Someone should prove me wrong. Yes, she is more beautiful than her sister. Then James is generous than his brother. James is generous than his brother. The word is generous. So we say James is more generous than his brother. James is more generous than his brother. And then the next one is, do you feel good today? The word is good. Do you feel good today? So we say, do you feel better today? I definitely feel better today. So do you feel better today? And then the doctor says that his condition is bad today. The word is bad. So the doctor says that his condition is worse today. The doctor says that his condition is worse today. I think that's the saddest news that you'll ever get to hear from a doctor. Him or her telling you that your condition is worse today. I don't know what the doctor told me that your condition is worse today. Those are very sad news. So Edwin is old among three brothers. So we say Edwin is the eldest among his three brothers. Remember we said that when talking about siblings or people who are related, we use the word elder and eldest. So in this case, Edwin is the eldest among the three brothers. Then the prize will be given to, the word is good dancer. The prize will be given to a good dancer. So we say the prize will be given to the best dancer. The prize will be given to the best dancer. I don't know how many of you would have forgotten that prize of being the best dancer. Then who scored high runs in the match? Who scored high runs in the match? In this case, the word is high. So we say, who scored the highest runs in the match? Who scored the highest runs in the match? So we've been looking at adjectives, the degree of adjectives, and how we use them differently in the comparative degree and in the superlative degree. Then last time I remember we talked about how to change adjectives, how to form adjectives from nouns. We also talked about how to change adjectives, how to form adjectives from adverbs and all, what have you. So in this case, I'll give you an exercise and you're going to give me the correct, you'll read the sentences using the correct degree of the adjectives in the brackets. The work will be given at the end of the link. And please make sure it is numbers 1 to 25. Make sure you do the work very, very correctly. Question and answer, and God bless. Good morning. It's time for CRE. How have you been? Hope you've been keeping safe and sanitizing, washing your hands and observing social distance. We're going to learn CRE. The last time we did CRE, we talked about social problems and Christian values. Social problems and Christian values. We talked about the Christian values like honesty, integrity, justice and fairness. And then we also looked at the social problems like nepotism, corruption, tribalism, and what else? We talked about nepotism, corruption, tribalism, and what else? Just a minute. We talked about tribalism, fairness, nepotism, tribalism, corruption. Yes, those are the social problems. Today I want us to look at the mismanagement of resources. Mismanagement of resources. So what is a resource? A source definitely is an asset that can be used to generate wealth. An asset that can be used to generate wealth. They could be natural or of human in origin. They could be natural or human in origin. So natural resources refer to the resources that are naturally produced. These include, like we didn't make them, we just found them here and we're going to leave them here. E.g., we have wild animals, we have mineral wealth such as gold, diamonds, we have water. Water, by the way, water is very old, older than the universe. That's what I hear. Then we have soil, we have forests, we have land in its natural state. So those are assets that are natural. We have land, we have animals, we have water, we have soil. These are the things that we found here, and definitely we're going to leave them here. So we find that in most cases, human beings tend to mismanage those resources. So I want us to look at how we can mismanage, how we actually mismanage such resources. Water. How do we mismanage water? How do we mismanage water? In this case, not in the home setup, hiyo maji kidogo, but how do we make sure that tunaharibu mazingira ama kuharibu maji ambao tunatumia? How do we do that? E.g., when oil spills in water, when oil from a factory or from anywhere spills, and then definitely it causes pollution, which affects marine life and agricultural land. Imagine you're going to affect marine life. Marine life in this case is the life that is under the water. Yes, under the water, yes. The life that's under the water. We have a very, very large life that is underwater. Scientists say that we've only discovered 5% of what is in our oceans. So 95% has not been discovered. So you can imagine when you go spilling oil, causing pollution that affects marine life and agricultural land. This eventually affects fishing and the agricultural industries, because if there is no water, definitely there is not going to be agricultural industries and also fishing. So definitely when you go spilling oil on water, and definitely water and oil does not mix, so your oil itabaki tu juu. So one, you've affected the fishing, you've affected the marine life and what have you. And then we also have the sewage disposal into the water sources like the oceans, the rivers and the lakes. Imagine in our towns, our towns are growing bigger and bigger every day. So they are actually, people are moving from rural areas to urban areas. So the rural to urban migration is very high. So this brings up very many people living in one settlement area. An area like Kiserian 10 years ago, that was in 2010, was not as big as it is right now. Right now, it is congested. We have very many buildings. We have very many houses. We have many people living around. There are many businesses. So the area has become densely populated. So when you have, and definitely when there is a large number of people living in one area, there is need to dispose of things like sewage. And you see what these guys do, the ones who own these big houses, they'll just open up, they will of course make their septic whatever, and then these guys will come and collect. These guys who call themselves honeysuckers, hizi malori kubwa kubwa, they'll come and take off the sewage, and then do you know where they'll dispose it from? Dispose it to, they'll take it to a water source like an ocean, a river or a lake. Imagine sewage kwa maji, kwa ocean, kwa lake. This poses the risk of contracting waterborne diseases definitely, such as typhoid, dysentery, and cholera. And then unasikia kidogo kidogo there is an outbreak of cholera in Rongai, there is an outbreak of cholera in Kitengela, there is an outbreak of cholera in Kiserian, especially Kiserian, Kitengela, Ngong, and Rongai. Those are the 4 upcoming towns, and hapo ndio unasikia kuna outbreak. Kwanza hapa Rongai outbreak ya cholera na typhoid inakuanga very high. Why? Because these guys took your sewage, took it to a water source, that is an ocean, a river, or a lake. Then definitely the waterborne diseases like typhoid, dysentery, and cholera haitakuacha nyuma. So that's how we mismanage our water. Even at home, you find that you just waste water. Unafungulia tu tap, and then the water runs, it runs, and then you just mismanaging it. So that, please guys, make sure you we as we go on, we learn how can we manage such resources. And then our minerals, how do we mismanage minerals? A mineral is the things that we mine. Minerals comes from the word mining, whereby we extract. We extract. So lack of control of the volume of minerals mined results in smuggling and selling of some illegally. E.g., a place like Magadi is where we get our salts, and trona and soda ash and what have you. So if that mining is not controlled, what will happen? It will lead to very large volumes of minerals are mined, and then some are smuggled and sold illegally. The government won't even notice. The people involved won't even notice, because people will take advantage. They will mine and then sell illegally, and as a result, the government will lose revenue. Remember, mining is one of the revenues that the government makes its money. So definitely the government will lose revenue. And also, the mines sometimes collapse. As a result, they may cause death. I'm sure you've seen whereby these guys will even mine at quarries. Unasikia tu imeanguka, and then definitely it will cause death. Juu kumekuwa na mawe, I don't think you will survive. Then also mining also interferes with the beauty of the landscape. Guys who mine wamechimba, they go very deep wakitafuta hiyo whatever they're looking for. Nasikianga huko Kakamega, sijui ni wapi, Western, they look for gold the whole day, and the thing you'll find utapata kitu kadogo is like a grain of rice, but I hear it's it's actually very valuable. So the whole day wanashinda huko wanachimba wakitafuta hiyo gold. Right, and then at the end of the day wanapata a very maybe gold size of a grain of rice, and you see what that does. Before ipate, they'll have distracted the landscape, the beauty of the landscape, and it may also collapse. The mining area may collapse, and then definitely cause death to the miners. So the next one is forest. How do we mismanage forests? Forests we can mismanage by uncontrolled cutting of trees. That definitely leads to desertification, destruction of natural habitat of wild animals. Wakati umekata miti, uncontrolled cutting of trees. Remember, those trees are home to 1 million of species in our continent, in our universe. We have birds, we have animals. From the word desert. When we don't have trees anymore, then we'll have deserts. So that's what we mean by desertification. Then there will also the destruction of natural habitat of wild animals. Remember, most of the wild animals, the trees or the forests are their habitats. That's where they sleep. I actually love to call it their bedroom. That's their bedroom. So if you interfere with the forest, you're interfering with the animals' bedroom. Also the birds and human beings, definitely. So if you go on cutting trees uncontrollably, ujue kuna animal umemalizia bedroom, umeharibia bedroom. How would you feel if someone came to your house and straight to your bedroom and did a mess, akaharibu kitanda and what have you? Definitely won't feel good. So remember, the water catchment areas are interfered with, thus affecting the rain cycle, fresh air, and causing soil erosion. When you cut trees uncontrollably, then you will interfere with the water catchment areas. therefore you will affect the rain cycle. You will also affect the fresh air, and also it will cause soil erosion. Kitambo, the seasons, watu wa kitambo, they were able to tell when it will rain because the cycle was not interfered with. But as we speak today, unapata watu wamekata miti, there are no forest anymore. Zile ambazo ziko ni huku tu juju, but ukiingia huko ndani we don't have anything. The example is the Mau forest. Mau forest inakuanga mzuri, I hear from huku mbele, but ukiingia ndani people are living in there. Hii Ngong forest, Ngong forest was a very big forest, but now sahi ni manyumba za watu. So and I hear the CS for environment, that is Keriako Tobiko, is doing all he can to make sure that kama uliuzua shamba ambayo iko kwa forest utoke, alafu ikuwe vile ambavyo ilikuwa inafaa kuwa, because Ngong forest is a home to very many animals. It will bring back the rain cycle, fresh air, and of course soil erosion will be reduced. Also, remember, wild animals and birds are also natural habitat. How do we mismanage the wild animals and birds? By killing of animals, the wild animals, through poaching, and may cause some animals to go extinct and rare birds. Just the other day, I think last year, we watched in our lifetime, as an entire species went extinct. That is the northern white rhino. We watched it and ikaikufa, and that was it. That is a whole species. That is a whole species. It has gone extinct. We used to hear about animals going extinct. Na akina dinosaurs, which other animal has gone extinct? I don't know of the dinosaur. So dinosaur meant extinct, and we used to hear that dinosaur used to exist around 65 million years ago. So in this case, we watched an entire species become extinct, and then many years from now, I think million years from now, people will read in books that in 2020 there's an animal that was called the northern white rhino and it went extinct. And then girls will be wondering, is it really true? Just the same way you ask yourself, dinosaur kweli ilikuwa? And definitely, because you've seen that, then it means it was true. So if some rare animals and birds go extinct, this will affect tourism that earns our country a lot of money through foreign exchange. Foreign exchange is also one of the revenues that the government gets its money. And if we don't have animals to show off, if we don't have a special species of animals that we have that are about to get extinct in other countries, tourism will be affected. There's no need to come see a lion in your country when you have a country in another country when you have yours. A lion in another country when you have the same lion in your own country. So this will affect tourism, and that revenue from this will affect tourism that earns our country a lot of money through foreign exchange. It also leads to unemployment to those who work in the tourism industry. Just take a look at what happened just, I think, a month ago when Corona was at its peak, and then there were no flights, there was no, you have to stay home, and you can imagine the rate of unemployment that happened, especially in the tourism industry. There are no flights, wale walikuwa pilots wako job, they are just home, especially the international pilots. Ile mpaka cessation of movement, there is no moving from one country to another. So ndege zilikuwa zimepakiwa tu kama gari. So you can imagine the amount of unemployment that we witnessed at that time. So if the animals that we have all went kwamba tumemaliza wanyama, we don't have any more animals to show, will we have foreigners coming to our country? No. And there was one blogger, I won't mention her name. She was asking, kwani ni lazima that hii Nairobi National Park inafaa it is just there, it's dormant, tunafaa tuimalize itoke hapo, and then we build houses. And then the irony of the matter, she was given a spot in the tourism industry. Irony of life. But people, social media would cry, and then your post ikakuwa revoked. So wild animals and birds, forests and minerals and water, you should learn how to manage them very well. In our next lesson, we'll look at soil, and then we'll also look at soil and upholding Christian values in our lives. God bless you. Stay safe.